Storyteller here with the third part of Pinocchio and probably the last, as these books are really full of details and they're very good, as you can see. Back at Stromboli's, Pinocchio was in trouble. Stromboli threatened to use him as firewood if he didn't behave, then locked Pinocchio in a cage. That night, Jiminy Cricket sneaked into the room. "Pinocchio," said Jiminy, surprised to find his friend locked up. "What happened?" Pinocchio explained, sobbing. "Don't worry, son," said Jiminy, hopping up to the cage. "Why, I'll have you out in no time." Jiminy tried and tried, but he just could not get that lock to open. He had finally given up when a dazzling blue light filled the room. "Blue Fairy," whispered Jiminy. "Pinocchio, why didn't you go to school?" asked the fairy. "School? Well, Pinocchio thought quickly. "I was going to school till I met somebody." "Met somebody?" asked the fairy. "Yeah, two big monsters, and they tied me in a big sack." Pinocchio was lying, of course, and with each lie his nose grew and grew until it stretched through the bars of the cage. "You see, Pinocchio, a lie keeps growing and growing until it's as plain as the nose on your face," explained the Blue Fairy. "I'll never lie again, honest, I won't," promised Pinocchio, trembling with fear. Jiminy Cricket cleared his throat. "Please, Your Honor, Miss Fairy, give him another chance," he pleaded. Since Pinocchio was genuinely sorry, the Blue Fairy waved her magic wand and unlocked the cage. "I'll forgive you this once, but remember, a boy who won't be good might just as well be made of wood." "Oh, I'll be good," insisted Pinocchio. "Very well," said the fairy. Then she disappeared. Jiminy and Pinocchio jumped down from the cage. "Come on, my boy," said Jiminy Cricket. "Let's go." In a nearby tavern, Honest John and Gideon sat with the coachman. These three scoundrels were finishing up the details of a deal. Now the coachman was an evil man who lured naughty boys to Pleasure Island to make silly donkeys of themselves. Once there, the boys never returned home. Honest John and Gideon agreed to help the coachman to find some more boys. Filling their pockets with gold coins, Honest John and Gideon went searching for bad little boys. They had barely stepped outside when they spotted Pinocchio. Honest John stuck out his cane and pulled Pinocchio aside. "Hello, young man," said Honest John, tipping his hat. "And where are you off to now?" "I'm going home to father," stammered the startled puppet. "You look a little bit pale. Let me check your pulse," said the fox, holding Pinocchio's wrist. "Ah, just as I thought. You can't possibly go home in this condition. What you need is rest and relaxation. I know just the spot." He chuckled. "Pleasure Island." "Pleasure Island?" asked Pinocchio. "Trust me," said Honest John slyly. "It's a wonderful place." Once again, the two rascals let Pinocchio down the street. They filled his head with promises of games and toys, and all the candy that he could eat. Jiminy Cricket followed at distance. "This doesn't look good to me," he groaned. "I don't know how he's ever going to get to be a real boy following those two around." Where are they taking him now? Wondered Jiminy. Outside the village? Foulfellow handed Pinocchio over to the coachman. The excited puppet climbed onto the stagecoach, which was already filled with laughing, chattering boys. The coachman cracked his whip at the stagecoach, and the stagecoach began its journey to Pleasure Island. By nightfall, they were on the ferry that would take them to Pleasure Island. During the crossing, Pinocchio met a boy named Lampwick. "Ever been to Pleasure Island?" asked Lampwick. "Uh-huh," answered Pinocchio. "Me neither," said Lampwick. "But they say it's a swell joint. No school, you loaf around, plenty to eat, plenty to drink, and it's free." "Look at all those cigars," cried Pinocchio as the ferry came to a stop. "This is it," yelled Lampwick. The boys ran down the gangplank onto the mysterious island. "If my mother could see me now, she'd have a fit," laughed Lampwick, getting ready to bite it into a gigantic sandwich. "On Pleasure Island I can eat whatever I want. Do you want a bite?" he asked. Pinocchio shook his head. He was busy enough trying to eat a lollipop and a candy cane at the same time. Stay tuned for the last part of Pinocchio coming up next. Bye-bye.